Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. When you are around a person that you don't know, but you spend time with that person long enough to see how that person reacts, which means acts with behavior, not only with speech. After a while, when you observe this person acting in different circumstances, and you memorize how that person reacted, you can make a pattern. And you say, okay, in this kind of circumstance, he reacted 5 times this way. And you kind of understand his way of thinking in that kind of circumstance. And that other circumstance, again, you observe his behavior, see how he reacts, and you're able to figure out his way of thinking, why he acted that way 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So you kind of anticipate. So next time when a circumstance arises, and you most likely will be able to figure out how that person will react because he reacted that way as a pattern. So that's how you know people and their way of thinking in certain kind of circumstances, which are related, because certain circumstances are related to one another. It's just that names are different and the times are different. For instance, you always start from pleasure and displeasure. We act based on that. We act because our fight and flight, let's put it this way, but it's pleasure and displeasure. I act because I like it, or I act because I don't like it. That's basic, and then that's the basic way to analyze someone's behaviors. And you anticipate if that person would like that or would dislike it, and then you kind of know which way is that gonna go. The details are really not important, because overall you kind of know which way is gonna go by knowing the person's likes and dislikes. Now, what do we have here? I had an article that I was sitting on because I thought I know these weasels, and yes, I do know these weasels. And what I'm talking about Venezuela. In Venezuela, some big things will happen because United States and Maduro start to get friendlier. There were signs that they met, and they said, yeah, let's do this, let's do that, let's allow the only one American company to come and tap the oil, and blah, 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 blah. Then, what's his name, Macron in Egypt, remember that weasel whatever summit for the climate change BS, they met over there, Maduro and Macron, and they shook hands, they kissed, and Macron called Maduro president, and I'm gonna see you, we're gonna meet. So that means he got legitimacy. So after I saw that kind of pattern, including the fact that they met and they discussed how they can sell the oil and how the Americans will control the Venezuelan oil, I said, these guys are ready to strike a deal. And I was right. I was right, and I found an article a few days ago, and I sat on it because I was waiting for something bigger than that, and I got it right now. So I looked for this. This was the article that came Friday, right? Right now is Sunday. I said, I'm not gonna make a video on this one because something bigger is gonna be the apex, the maximum, not this one. This is just a step. I don't want to bother you with, okay, you know what, this is what happened. No. I want to give you the apex. This is the article that I didn't cover on Friday, but I have it saved. And this is the title. So long, farewell. Venezuelan opposition puts end to interim government led by Juan Guaido. So that means they dropped him. So the United States dropped the pretense that there's an alternate government by this weasel, and that means they will accept Maduro's legitimacy as the president. That means that Maduro gave something to the United States. What that is? Access to his natural resources. What else? Girls? I don't think United States needs that, okay? Or boys or something? No. So this was the article that I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm waiting for something bigger. Now, what that something bigger is right now here. This came 45 minutes ago from Sputnik. Venezuela ready to normalize relations with U.S., Maduro says. Now, You can say, well, he might want, but the United States doesn't want to. No, 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 no. All the patterns that led to him to say this leads me to believe that it's already a done deal between these guys. As I mentioned, the United States met, I can remember it was in Colombia they met or something, the Venezuelan delegation and the American, to discuss how, I can't remember the name of the company, that Sunoco, Amoco was allowed to continue dealing with Venezuela. That's one thing. Then after that, they said, well, how about El Presidente, Mr. President, shake hands, kiss, whatever, Macron. What? Up till then, they called this guy illegitimate, but they recognized Guaido, France included. So that said, this is acceptance. Why? Because the weasels need oil. They don't have values. They don't have values. When they say, well, how can you come back to this guy that you consider not illegitimate, and now you consider him legitimate because he gives you oil? Because they've done this over and over and over again. That's why when they tell you that do the right thing and defend the Ukraine and give them some billions, no. Not when you say it, is when I decide it. But hey, this is the democratic system. Those guys were voted over there. They appointed their weasels and they do whatever they want for 4 years. And you wait. Wait and you know what I mean. I just showed you. That's what you can do. Nothing else. You're gonna wait and they're gonna screw your life, they're gonna screw your country for 4 years, and then whoever comes next, probably the same idiots, are gonna fuck you deeper and deeper and deeper. And then what are they gonna do? I love democracy with their mass media and the big interest. Excellent. So let's see what's going on here. Caracas. The government of Venezuela is prepared to advance in the process of normalizing political and diplomatic relations with the United States. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro said, and I'm quoting, Venezuela is prepared, fully prepared to take steps towards a process of normalization. We're going to give you oil, all of it, and regulation of diplomatic, consular, and political relations with the U.S. government and with the government that may come. All right? Yeah, so we're friends with you. We're going to give you all the oil. Maduro said in a Sunday interview with journalist Ignacio Ramonet. Venezuela broke off diplomatic relations with the U.S. in 2019 after the later United States recognized Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido as the country's interim president instead of re-elected Nicolás Maduro. Washington in turn imposed crippling sanctions on Caracas, targeting the country's oil and financial industries. Contacts between the two countries resumed to some extent in March 2022 when the U.S. President Joe Biden sent a delegation to Caracas. It was not Colombia, it was Caracas, capital of Venezuela, right? To negotiate with Maduro government on the issue of oil supplies amid the energy crisis amplified by Western sanctions against Russia. So United States needed freaking oil, so they watered down their virtues and their values, and they dealt with a guy that they didn't recognize in 2019 when there was not a crisis. So you see how it works? Values are not situational, my friends. Values are, because if they're situational, they're not values. I mean, when you feel a little bit of pain, you toss your value, like, okay, thou shalt not kill. And if it's a situation where you get an interest, you're going to do it. Yeah, because I'm going to earn some money or something, then that's not a value that you have. Okay, talks about the possible thaw in U.S.-Venezuela relations started following reports that the Venezuelan opposition was ready to oust Guaido, and the U.S. indicated it would not interfere in the process. On Friday, the Venezuelan opposition supported in a second hearing the elimination of the self-proclaimed interim government that Juan Guaido had led since 2019. So they mentioned the other article that I have. So these are the people who are in charge of us, who are supposed to be our elected representatives working for us. But hey, we're going to have cheaper oil? Yeah, so fuck values. Give me the oil. Basically, but we are how do you call them? extraordinary people or whatever they are, fantastic, special, whatever. Yeah, we are. Yes, yes. The American, yes, 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 yes. That's why, when you come to United States, you come with a big heart, and you stay with a big heart looking at your people around you, but your heart gets smaller and smaller and smaller when you meet Biden and Kamala and politicians and all that. You say, what's wrong with this? You guys, and now myself included, we seem to be their subjects, and supposedly we vote for them and they're supposed to work for us. So it's the other way around. How is that possible? So it's a lot of hypocrisy, and it's fake, phony, and these are the values. The land of the free. Yeah, go to work and say something that hurts someone's feelings, and see how free you are. And if you're free and you're gonna have consequences for speech, then that's not freedom, my friends. That's very limited freedom. Well, I had more freedom of speech in other areas in my life, it seems like. I have to say it, but still it's better here than there. So even the communists did not do what these guys do. Fire you or put you on leave indefinitely. I just made a video a minute ago regarding that issue. Just because you used the wrong term instead of using the mandatory term. Let's put it this way. I break my mouth now. Too agitated. Anyway, it's just weasels. That means they have no values. So when they tell you to do the right thing for those guys, how do you know they really mean it? Anyway, my friends, it's a dirty world. All we can do is just look at it, discover it, and maneuver through life. And if we can, work within the system, then we're gonna go and vote for other people that will have charisma and fool the important segment of our society. That means the ones below 86 IQ that would outvote us, and they will get their weaklings over there, because that's how democracy works. The weak can oppress the strong. Why? In any society, the strong are smaller, it's a minority, and the weak are a majority. So democracy will always favor the majority, which will be easily turned left and right by a mass media, by probably some strong guys over there who are maneuvering it. And when these guys are voting, they can outvote everybody else. And they will have their own people over there that were actually put over there to be voted by other people in charge who might be strong. So you can say, well, see, still the strong ones. Well, I don't think that Biden, Kamala, Milley, Kirkby, Sullivan, all those Jean-Pierre, whatever her name is, these are strong people. I don't think they're strong people, because I can hear them, I understand them. They're not strong. They are weak people. Weak. Weak here, weak here, weak here, weak. They're weasels. But it seems like you need that to go over there and do the job. Because a strong person would be immediately attacked by everybody else. Sounds familiar? Look 2 years back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.